Hello everyone and welcome to May 2024 Energetic Insights. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Topeka Mystery and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, coach and a consultant. And for over 4 years now, I've been sharing these insights on a month-by-month basis. And it's really geared up for those of you that are becoming more and more consciously aware of your intuitive and energetic abilities and are looking for some practical guidance to help you to navigate your way through. So if that sounds like you, welcome, you are here at the right place. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about the energies this month, but before I dive in, I have a couple of announcements to make. First one is I just want to say a massive thank you. I think last month I was really feeling the gratitude of each and every one of you that watches these insights, hits the thumbs up, leaves a comment behind, and also for those of you that have been sharing your kind words and reflections, not just here, but also in Instagram. And those of you that have been following me on Instagram know that I've been on a very interesting journey since February. And as you know, I started decluttering and it was just something that I felt to do. I was meant to actually go back into corporate and look for some work. That didn't happen. It still hasn't happened. And the decluttering journey turned into a journey of decorating. So this room got decorated and the rest of the flat got decorated as well. And now it's turned into a journey of where I'm emptying out all the furniture, so I'm going to be left with just the mattress and my office furniture, and everything else is going to be gone maybe this month or next month. And I just really want to say thank you so much for just chatting to you guys in the DMs on Instagram. It's been so fun for me to hear about, you know, how my crazy journey has inspired you and also how it's touched you. And I just, and even for me it's really fulfilling, and those that I've spoken to, you know, you've also made me cry. So I just really want to say a massive thanks for being here and being on this journey with me and watching these insights. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you, so thank you. The other announcement I have is we are celebrating 4 years of the energetic alignment group healing meditation. So it started in May 2020 when we were in lockdown, and it's been going ever since. We've been doing this at least once a month. I think initially it started off with 3 times a month and then it moved to once a month. And I just really want to say thank you. I know a number of you have been there since the beginning and are part of the community, and I love how people come and go in the community but still feels like a bigger part of the community. So I just so grateful for that. I am just so happy I get to do that because I get to play and I get to have fun with you guys, and I get to see you guys grow and shift and really connect with your guides and the energies, and you know, it's such an honor to do that. So as a massive thank you for being with me on this journey, because again, I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys turning up and showing up and signing up. There's going to be a nice little surprise and a gift for those of you who sign up for this month. And if you don't feel called about signing up this month, that's okay. Just make sure you've joined the mailing list, because there are 5 free meditations there already. My favorite one is the Rainbow Heart, and I am going to add another new one this month for free as well. So it's a great way of benefiting from the celebration of 4 years of doing the energetic alignment session. So thank you all, and yeah, excited about this. You can probably tell I'm really feeling the energies of this month, so sorry if I'm bouncing all over the place today, but there's a beautiful energy of excitement. So with that, let's go into the energies for this month. So I know I've spoken to a number of you. There has been a massive shift, and I think I said it in the April Insights that there will be a shift in energy towards the end of April, and I personally felt that on the 8th of April after the eclipse. I just felt this energy lift up and out, and it was just a lot more peaceful. And then throughout of April, if you haven't watched the April Insight, do go back and watch it, because there is this sense of all those themes really played out. And if you're not feeling this freedom, look at the parts where you need to accept yourself a little bit more, or your journey or your experiences of where you are at the moment. So there's a beautiful shift that's happened, and it's going to continue and it's going to expand. So if you haven't felt that yet, it's okay. There's still, at the beginning of May, it still feels that some of us are still going to be processing some of the old stuff, but it won't feel as heavy as it has done before. And it's okay. Process whatever you can process. You will still have opportunity to process more of this as and when you need to. There's no right way of doing this, wrong way of doing it. Just jump on the opportunity. If you've called Phil to jump on the opportunity, because the energies are supporting in the clearing. So for some of us, for some of us, we'll still be clearing some of our old patterns, our beliefs. So what was happening with that, they will show themselves and they'll slap you in the face pretty much like a little wet fish. And it will hurt and it will be stinky, but the more that you can honor that and surrender into it without judging yourself or shaming yourself, just like, okay, my patterns have showed up, let's get curious. Let's not fix yourself because you're not broken. Let's just play with it. Let's get curious. Let's see what it's trying to tell me, because obviously something's ready to be released. So yay, celebrate that and allow yourself to move through it. And then by the end of this month, there's going to be this propelling forward. So some of you might be, oh, I was going to use a different word here, but I'm not going to use that word because you'll be like, oh, gruesome, Topeka, why would you say that? Some of you are going to literally crap your pants with this propelling motion going forward. So there is this beautiful, fast propelling motion. So I think it's in relation to how much you've actually cleared will allow you to propel forwards. And some of you, if you feel like you've been moving forward, yet something is still pulling you back, that is okay, because you're going as far as you can go, and then the rest will kind of catch up, and then you'll release it, and then you'll propel again. So your propelling might happen in stages. For some of us, there's going to be this sense of, okay, we're done, boom, and it's going to go. And some of us who are ready to do that, but crapping your pants, and like, you know, when you hold on to a roller coaster too tightly, you end up hurting your neck, you end up hurting your back. The more that you just get really floppy in the roller coaster, the more fun you will have, number one, and number two, you'll have less impact on your body because you're allowing your body to move with the roller coaster rather than trying to hold on to your body in the seat, and that ends up, you end up getting whiplash and the rest of it. So yeah, so think about it like that. Right, let's go into the message that the guides want to say for the overall theme overall energy for this month. So the guides are saying this: the frequency of peace is rising on the planet. It is unsettling. It shakes up everything that's not in alignment. This is what the collective and you need. It is not a bad thing. It brings light to the shadows that are in hiding and need to be seen with love, kindness, and compassion. It is therefore no accident the experiences that you are having. It is all by design, your soul's design. So the image that I got with this was almost like the guides are outside on the outer edges of the planet, and all of this kind of frequency, it's like sound waves, like pulsating through the planet. Some of it is in circles, some of it's in straight lines, some of it is in like wavy lines, and that's how I kind of see all these different frequencies are hitting the planet, and which can feel really, 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 really overwhelming. So the reason why, because it shakes up. So if you think about it as one of those globes, the shaker globes that has the snow globes, that's it. When you shake that up, it's just unsettling the stuff, the sediment that has been settled at the bottom, which you're now ready to release. So allow that to happen and allow that to move through you. And it's just kind of clearing out some of the shadow aspects of yourself, the karma and stuff that you're, the misaligned patterns of thoughts and beliefs. So this is a really good thing, and it's about wiping your slate clean. On one hand, your mind is going to fight it because it's really difficult to digest on a mental level, because it's like, well, I built my life like this, why would I let that go? But on another hand, there's a part of you that feels this freedom, that feels this expansion with it, and feels this flow. So, and part of you knows that this is why you're here on this earth at this time. So you might feel a little bit of a conflict, but it's just about releasing the various different masks of identities that you're holding on to. So just be mindful of that and ground wherever you need to ground, and just go floppy in a roller coaster, because you are so taken care of by the universe. You have no idea how much the universe has your back. It's just the fact that you do not allow the universe to have your back. So keep that in mind. All right, before we move on to the themes for this month, let's take a moment to revisit April. I think for some of you, April's themes and March themes are still going to be playing out this month. So the themes for April were: don't break the human, pause, don't panic, zoom out, ancestral past life and karmic reset, and freedom through acceptance. So again, go back and watch those insights if they resonate with you, those themes resonate with you. All right, let's move on to the first theme for this month. I love this one and I'm a pro at it. The first theme is called Stop Fighting Yourself. And I'm going to start with a message from the guides, and the guides go: the fight is not outside of you, it's inside. Projection keeps you safe, gives you a sense of control, and temporarily makes you feel better, but it stops you from healing, from accepting the wounded parts of self with love. This is not you. This is your conditioning. Become aware. Practice kindness and compassion to self. When you heal, the collective heals. So just take a moment to take that in, because I think not just myself, but I think we're all really good at fighting ourselves. Our different parts are always, at some points, always in conflict, and that gets projected out. So I think this month is a really great opportunity. You know, some of us will be very aware of this because we've been doing a lot of work on this. Some of us not quite that aware. So there's a couple of different aspects. I'll see if I can try and explain it. But whoever you are, wherever you are in this part of the journey, just know that you are not the only one that is constantly fighting yourself inside. The war and the fight happens inside, and then it gets projected outside. And the more you become aware of that, so if you're in a situation right now where you're fighting with someone, take a moment and say, okay, what's happening inside of me? What parts of this fight, what parts of me does this fight represent? And I've got some tools here which I'll go into in a moment. So I think it's a really great opportunity to stop and become aware. And honestly, for all of us, it's a great opportunity this month to go even deeper within us and raise our level of awareness of ourselves and our different parts, and how we treat ourselves, and how we talk to ourselves, and how we navigate conflicts within ourselves. Are we doing it with shame? Are we doing it with judgment? Are we pushing ourselves to be better and trying to control a particular type of outcome? Or are we in the state of being kind and compassionate and in a space of allowing with curiosity? So, you know, it does take a lot of courage to go in deeper, because it requires a deeper level of honesty, kindness, and compassion. And the guides are saying, we have this in bucket loads. It's just the fact that we've forgotten how to use this. So it's not that we're doing something that's unnatural to us. This comes to us so naturally, but we've forgotten about it. So this is part of the relearning. Just think about it. If you, I was going to say something. No, that's not going to work. So just think about it in a way that you are relearning something that you already know how to do and already know how to be. You've just forgotten. And so I also think with this theme, many of us are going to have some incredible, profound realizations. It's almost like the pieces start falling into place, the dots start joining up. We have a better understanding of who we are and why we are the way that we are and why we've had the experiences that we've had. And it's like, oh, aha, wow, I can't believe that. And it's really freeing, those realizations. It's a really beautiful experience. And then we will see the way in which we project our inner fights or inner conflicts onto other people. So here are some tools that you can use, some questions that you can use to kind of help you to navigate. So if you find yourself fighting yourself, first of all, stop. Second, congratulate yourself for being aware of it. Third, see if you can identify the parts. Where does it come from? How old is it? What purpose does it serve? And how does it serve you, and how does it meet your needs? Number 4, observe yourself and these parts without judgment. Number 5, be kind. Number 6, throw yourself a conscious, intentional pity party. So I think that's a brilliant tool that we can each and every one of us use. I think three, try not to get too much in your head when you're trying to identify the different parts that are playing out. The way that I kind of used to do it, and I used to love doing it, is imagine that I was at a conference table, I was at the head of the table, and then I look to the left and see which part shows up. I look to ahead of me, see what part shows up, and they will all have their identity. They'll be dressed in a different way. They'll be male or female. They'll have a particular age. They'll have a particular purpose. And in my own head, I'll have a dialogue with them. And that's a great way of just being fun and curious to understand the different parts that are playing out. And your job, I think 4 and 5, where you have to observe, you know, these parts without judgment and also be kind. I think those are the parts those are the bits that get really hard for us to do. And you know, we can get to the point of 3, we know what's playing out, we know these parts, and then we miss out 4 and 5. And we miss out 4 and 5 because it's uncomfortable to see how much we actually judge ourselves. And when we see how much we're judging ourselves, we can no longer project that judgment out onto others. We have to take responsibility for it, and that's when it's hard. And when we don't love ourselves, it's really difficult to be kind to ourselves. If you have judgment, the more judgment you have, the less kinder you are. So they kind of balance each other out. That's why that is really quite difficult. And the pity party is not that we do not throw pity parties. And I know I've done this. I've thrown so many pity parties so unconsciously that I get stuck in a rut and I spiral downwards, completely spiral downwards. So the key thing here is to consciously and intentionally throw yourself a pity party and time box it, time frame it, and then when it's done, move on. Because when we are unconsciously throwing ourselves pity party, we just spiral completely out of control and into some of the deepest and darkest parts of ourselves, and we create all these negative narratives, which doesn't help us at all. So just be aware of that. So the other part of this, so if you're not feeling the fight, or you feel like you've done a lot on this kind of fight energy within yourself, you might be one of these people that is very aware, very conscious, and can feel other people having their internal fights. And so for you, it may just be that you have to be even more conscious about holding a neutral space. So if someone is fighting themselves and they're projecting that out to you, and you're an empath, to make sure that you do not absorb that in. If you're absorbing that in to make the other person feel better, the other person doesn't benefit because they're not taking responsible for whatever they are projecting, and you're absorbing and you're taking that energy, and then you're going to have to deal with that, and therefore your boundaries are not strong enough. So this is not about fixing the other person, it's becoming aware that they're projecting. And sometimes all you need to do is just be aware that they're projecting and hold a neutral space so they can project away. But you do not absorb that projection in. And there may be a time for some of that, you may have to tell the other person, hey, by the way, you're projecting. So that's another way of being in it. And then those of you that have got amazing egos that are there to serve an amazing purpose, please do not judge yourself. You may get involved in a way where somebody else is projecting, and then you project back because they're triggering something on you, and then you elevate yourself to say, I'm the one who's not projecting, I'm the one who's holding a neutral space. That is where you need to be. It's, what did I call it? Projecting back the projection. So become aware of that. You know, some of us may fall into that, and there's nothing to be shameful about it. It's just to be aware that you could fall into that because you want to be higher up than the other person. So again, that comes into comparison as well. So it's a very interesting theme with various different dynamics that's going to be playing out this month. All right, let's move on to theme 2. So theme 2 is called Abundance Flows. And I'm going to start with a message from the guides. And the guides go, you are an abundant being. It is not about your material possessions. It is an energy that lives within you. It is a feeling. It is a life-giving energy. It is expansive. It is you. Abundance is not something you acquire. Abundance is who you become when you have the courage to strip away your many masks. So I feel this energy of abundance this month, and just going all the way up until the end of the year is huge. It's absolutely huge. The question is, how much can you receive, and how much of it can you allow to let it flow in and out of you? And I feel that the more space we have, the more we have room to allow this abundant energy to kind of flow through. And I want to make a point really clear here. It's not thinking that you're abundant. It's not about your bank account or what opportunities are coming your way. It's got nothing to do with that. It's a feeling. It's an energy. It's a feeling. And there's this, it feels very, very peaceful. It is not chaotic. So if you're feeling abundant energy being chaotic, or you're feeling you have to kind of grab it, or you have to force it, or you have to pull it, or you have to, go for it, it's not that. That's your ego kind of adding a story and adding a narrative. When this energy is flowing in and out of you, it will feel very, very peaceful. And it's not a doing energy, it's a being energy. And it's about receiving and giving. It's the cycle of life, and where we kind of elevate each other. So there'll be a sense of expansion and a sense of elevation when this energy is really flowing in and out of us. So it's going to be a little bit triggering for some of us, especially if we've got wounds around abundance, or we feel this sense of lack, or we're not good enough, or we feel that we do not belong. Then this is going to really trigger that part. But it's also, the energy is so strong. So if you really want to release those parts of yourself, this energy can support you and will help you, and it will help move you forward that little bit quicker. So if you keep fighting it, then it will take a little bit slower. But if you surrender to it and allow the energies to move through you and do what it needs to do, and trust that it's doing whatever it needs to do for you in this moment, and it's absolutely perfect, the more freer you will become. So it's an opportunity also to change our narratives around lack, around control, and what good looks like. Because I think a lot of us, we think we are abundant because of what we have created, whether it's our career, whether it's our home life, whether it's the partnerships that we have in work, in family, and what good looks like. I think it's all just going to be, I think if we're holding on to those things tightly, it's going to shatter them. And that's where it can be a little bit triggering. But if you can surrender into it, you will feel the abundance and the freedom that comes with it. And it's, if you're feeling a little bit blocked, what's potentially blocking it is some of your old patterns, your conditionings, people, places, and situations. So this will feel quite tight, and it will show up this month. So pay attention to that, because it's again an opportunity to kind of release it. And it's also an opportunity to drop in deeper into a state of being. So it's not something that you do, it's a state of being. And it comes from within yourself. And it's like it's an inner knowing. And all I can say, it feels very grounded. It feels expansive. It feels peaceful. It feels like that you have no worries. You're so present in that moment. But some of you may also feel the fear and the scarcity, the lack and limitation. So sometimes when you first start to surrender, it's scary. So the fear is helping you to come back to something that you're familiar. So remember that if you're feeling the fear, you're heading in the right direction, because you're heading onto a path that is unfamiliar to you. If you're feeling the scarcity and lack, again, they're a protective mechanism that is trying to get you back to your norm, your usual norm, not your new norm. So again, these are really great indicators. So don't judge yourself or shame yourself if the stuff is coming up. It's just helping you. They're indicators that are helping you to figure out where you are and to allow yourself to surrender. So this is really, abundance is about giving and receiving and surrendering. All right, let's move on to the third theme. And the third theme this month is called, I think there may be some more stuff about the second theme, and it hasn't dropped in yet, so I may come back to it in a moment. But let's move on and go on to the third theme. The third theme this month is called Becoming the New Human. And I'm going to start with a message from the guides. And the guides go: you are the keepers of light. Light codes exist within you. Now is a time of activation. There is nothing for you to do other than just be. At your own pace, you are becoming the new human, operating at a frequency that has not been felt like this before. in this form of existence. The pace at which you travel will be determined by the pace you are willing to release your identities. So, what I want to say about this theme is like, wow, what a theme, first of all. And I feel that many of us have been on this journey of death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, probably since 2020, when everything was kind of shaken up in our world. And then more intensely, probably over the last 1 or 2 years, and even more intensely since probably last summer, I would say, and even more recently this year, the first 4 months of this year. So this isn't something that can be faked. It's something, I know some of you goes, yes, I'm becoming the new human. I have all these light codes being activated in me. I'm sorry about that. It just makes me laugh because there's so many people that are out there that are saying this and doing this, and it's got nothing to do with that, because you cannot fake this. That's just the ego that has what will also happen with this theme is that our ego's wounding will come up. So where we're feeling that we're not adequate enough, or we have a wounding around needing to be someone because we haven't been someone, or we didn't get the love or the attention that we needed from our parents as we're growing up, or our caregivers as we're growing up, this wound is going to show up. So some of us are going to jump into, oh yeah, I'm becoming the new human. And it's not to say others are not actually becoming the new human. All I'm trying to say here is you cannot fake it, because it will shift you. It will really strip you naked. So if you're ready to become this new human, and I think we all are, because, oh, hang on, let me just see. I'm getting, okay, so the guides are interrupting me now. So they go, Deepika, you need to tell them this. All right, so there was a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago or something like that, I got this image. And I got this image that many of us have jumped timelines, and we're in this space where we've become this new human, and we're in the same space. And it's, imagine there's a road, and that road, we're already on it. Some of us, the only thing is we're in the same space, but we're driving different vehicles. So some of us might be on bicycles, some of us might be walking, some of us might be crawling, some of us might just be sitting there, some of us would be driving motorcycles or Porsches or aeroplanes, or the fighter jets, whatever it is. We are all traveling at different pace, and I think that's what the guides were talking about in the message around we're all at our own pace. And it doesn't mean that we are not there and we're not becoming the new human. We are becoming the new human, but at different rates. And that is all really, really, really perfect. And I'm going to jump again to something that I've written here. And the guides were also saying that, it has to be this way, because if it wasn't this way, it will be just too much. So what I mean to say that as long as you are authentic to yourself and you're allowing yourself to move at your own pace, and you're not judging yourself or comparing yourself to somebody else, then it's all perfect. You are becoming the new human. And I think it's important to remember that. And your journey is unique to you. So this is another where I think we compare ourselves when we have that wounding within us, where we feel that we're not good enough, or we're not worthy enough, or we need to be someone, we need to shine a light, or we're a light worker, or whatever. It's giving us identity to be someone or something in this world, and the truth is you already are, and you're going back to that truth. And when you hit that truth, you just know, and there's a sense of peace in there. So I am jumping all over around the place, but I hope I'm making some sense here. If I'm not, please do ask me some questions in the comments below. So I jumped a bit. So the reason why it's so important that we ride and drive and be in our own vehicle is because it weaves a beautiful tapestry. And the other image that the guides gave me is to think about it like this. So if you think about a light switch, you can get a light switch that switches all the lights on, or you can get a dimmer. And if the light switch if we were in complete and utter darkness and all these lights went off or on, then it will completely blind us, it'll freak us out, it'll shock our system, and we might even die. So I'm joking about that, but it will be an absolute shock to our system. However, if the light switch was a dimmer switch, and the dimmer switch went on, and first it just allowed a little bit of light to come in, then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and eventually all the light was on to full blast, it wouldn't blind us and it wouldn't hurt us, and we'll be able to adapt to it quite quickly and easily. And I think that's what it is. It's like, because we're on different vehicles, it allows us to be this dimmer switch as a collective, as a whole. We are all playing our part. Not one person is better than the other. And, you know, we all have a purpose and we all have a part to play, you know, with elevating light frequencies on this planet. And that's why when you honor your path and honor where you are and where you are on that path of becoming the new human, it plays in it. You're doing what you need to do, and that's more than what, you know, this is what you're here to do. So yeah, just remember that in that. So let me just go back to my notes of what else I was going to say about this. There's another image that we're getting. So becoming the new human, there's a part of this is how much can we actually release of our old identities. So what I really want to say here, and this is why the ego kind of comes up, oh, I've released everything and I'm so free, and look at me because I've released all my crap, I'm supercharged and a superhuman, you know. And just want to say, be mindful of that, because that's your ego that's coming in. Because the thing about this becoming the new human is that you can still have a lot of crap, but there's a crack in you when new light codes are being activated and is coming in, and part of your old identity starts to get released. So that's why they say, as much as you can, as much you will hold as much light as much as the old identities have got. So again, it's about the space. So if you've released the old identities, more light can kind of come in. And if you've only released one, still light will be coming in, and you will be becoming the new human. So I think it's really important to remember that. And the other image that I got was, I don't know how many of you guys have watched time traveling movies. I know I've watched a load of them because I really enjoy them. But like even in the Terminator or the Time Traveler's Wife, you know that when they time travel, they land in the new time without any clothes. So I think this is so beautiful, because in order to become the new human, you have to become naked first. So naked could mean that you have 10 masks that you're wearing and you take off one, and that will still feel naked to you because you've taken off one of your masks. So really remember that in its truest form. It's not about being completely butt naked. Okay, I can hear some of you laughing now because I'm talking about being naked. Okay, let's not digress there. My guides are laughing as well at me. But anyway, so if you think about it, we feel naked when we don't have our masks on. So those of us that are really comfortable going out in the world with various different masks on, if we take even one of them off, we will feel completely and utterly naked. As long as you have that feeling, light codes are going to be activated. And again, this is a great theme and a great opportunity to really shift our identities and you know, our old belief systems, our old narratives, our wounds, inner child needs, conditionings, and our need for control as well. So I think all of this is shifting, because becoming the new human, and this is not all of it, this is just the start. So I've only got some information about this, and I think this theme is going to be playing out for the rest of our lives, I think, because we're going to be shifting and evolving and increasing our frequencies. And I just want to say, going back to the other analogy that I had about the vehicles, some of us will shift the vehicle. So one day it may be that we're ready to get on that motorbike after sitting for so long, so we can have those shifts. Or maybe we've been, you know, flying the fighter jet, and it's actually time just to kind of, you know, time to sit. So you move from the fighter jet to a sitting position or a walking position. So it's always interchangeable. Just remember to stay on your path. Stay on your path. Do not compare yourself to anyone else's, because your path is needed and it's part of a bigger tapestry that is playing out. So just remember that. And I just want to end with The guides are wanting me to remind you to say ground, and try not to fly away with the fairies this month with this theme. And if it does feel too much, just take a moment, just take a pause. Some of you may also, just to be aware, some of you may feel like cool tingling sensations that's running up and down your spine, in your feet. I'm being shown in the hands and the back of the neck and the top of the head. It won't last very long. It may just be fleeting, but just be aware that there may be some physical sensations that are happening with this activation this month. And this is something that we will be exploring in this month's energetic alignment session as well. So yeah, and if you have any other sensations or anything else is coming up, please do comment in the comments and I will respond and tune into it and see what's going on as well. That'll be fun for me. All right, let's move on to the fourth and final theme. And the theme is called quantum jumps. Well, we've got a real packed month of very exciting energies. Right, let's go on and let me share the message from the guides. The guides are saying, you are on an accelerated path. Time ceased to exist. You are in the moment. You are the moment. You exist in the moment. There are many jumps. You choose how high, how far you jump. It is available to you now. Your jumps are unique to you. Do not compare. Your jumps are needed. It creates part of the wider tapestry of evolution on this planet. So I've totally forgot that I wrote this and channeled this. So I think it goes back to what I was saying in the previous themes. You know, every one of us are needed at this time. Our uniqueness is our gift to this world, and so honor that parts of yourself, and stop comparing. Wherever you're comparing, stop it. It does not serve you and it does not serve the collective. And I feel that this is a really cool theme. Again, I think this is just something like becoming the new human. It's just going to be playing out for the rest of this year and going into 2025, 2026. It's just going to keep on growing and evolving. And I feel that many of us have had quantum leaps and jumps over the last couple of years. So the thing with quantum jumps is that sometimes it isn't felt instantly. Sometimes it takes a while to settle. And I'll give you an example. So last year, those of you who've been following me, I decided to quit a role that I was doing, and I didn't want to, but I just got this guidance that I had to, and I felt into it, and I did it for me. And I remember a healer saying to me, one of my healers saying to me, she goes, "You've completely jumped timelines." This is more of a personal side. You completely jumped timelines, and I'm just like, what the F is she talking about? Talking bollocks. I feel absolutely crap, you know. But I can see that now. So we can sometimes jumping timelines is making some really, really, really hard life decisions. And then it's the inner work that comes out, because when you jump timelines, you almost have to clear all the baggages because you can't move forward. So like going back to what I was saying in theme 3, where we're all on this becoming this new human, sometimes we have to sit, and sitting doesn't mean that we haven't jumped the timeline. We have, but we have to sit because we need the time and space to process and release our baggage. If we start moving forward, it'd be too heavy to move forward and becoming this new human. So sometimes you just have to sit. So a quantum jump may not feel like a quantum jump, but just know that it's the decisions that you're making. So some of you will start to see this forming in the physical world now. And then for some of you, you may be making really hard decisions about your life and your life choices and how you want to live your life going forward. And that in itself is a quantum jump. So this is so fascinating. And I think just be aware that, you know, if your life hasn't changed on the outside, it doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't made the quantum jumps or you haven't shifted your timeline. You may still need to process your crap first. So I think it's just becoming aware of the various different ways that this may be playing out. And again, it's we are moving into the space where we're going to start to speak the language of frequency. And the language of frequency doesn't work in the same way as our logical mind. It's like, okay, if I do A, B, and C, then I'm definitely going to get D. The way that it works when it comes to the energy is that you do A, B, and C because it feels right for you, not because you're trying to achieve the outcome of D. So that's the thing about the quantum jumps. You do it because it feels right for you and you're guided by the universe, and it's just something that it comes through your sixth sense. You just know, and it's an action that you take without thinking twice about it, even if it feels crap. So yeah, there's a lot to this, and gosh, I can't wait to explore this more in future themes as well. So this has been a very, 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 very exciting insights. If you have enjoyed watching it, please do give us a thumbs up on YouTube, leave a comment below, and please do go ahead and share it with your community, because I really do need your help to help these insights reach more people, so they can have a bit of fun while we go through some really challenging times in the world. So thank you for all of you that have already subscribed. If you haven't, please do also go and subscribe. And then if you're looking for some additional support this month, come and join the energetic alignment session, which is taking place on Sunday, the 26th of May. And it's the usual time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, and 7 p.m. European time. And the theme this month is called Becoming the New Human. And as I mentioned, anyone that signs up this month for this theme, there's a little surprise, a little gift, which I'll announce on the 26th. And if you don't feel like you want to sign up, but you would like to receive something, do sign up for the mailing list, and you will get 5 free meditations and an extra one free by the end of this month. I'll pop another one online as well, which will be linked to helping you move through the energies of this time of this year. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for watching and staying tuned. So this is a little bit longer insight, but really, really grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next month. Bye for now.